Good morning, my name is Alan Grimm and I'd like to talk about Cynthia Cooper, who is the whistleblower at WorldCom. In the text for the class we have read and studied about 7 steps on how to blow the whistle. This presentation is about Ms. Cooper and not only her decision to blow the whistle, but the steps she took in order to do so. So 7 steps include first approaching your immediate manager, discussing the issue with him or her, and hoping that it is resolved there. But if you approach your immediate manager and nothing is done, you have to realize that you're going to need to take further steps, and often doing so will cause discomfort to you and your family. Many times it involves to a loss of job, hardships on the family, hardships on the individual who has discovered the problem and is considering blowing the whistle. So you need to talk the matter over with them. If your immediate manager does nothing about it, you go to the next level. You go to your boss's boss and you talk with him or her, discuss what has happened, the things that you found, and again put it in their hands and hope that measures have been taken to correct the problem. If your company has an ethics officer or somebody similar to that title that you can turn to, you need to talk to them. These are ethical matters, ethical decisions that people may or may not have made that you've discovered, so it's good to talk to them. Something else you can do, the next step, if these prior measures have not worked, is you go outside your chain of command. You can skip to the top, you talk to the chief executives, you talk to board members, people that have a lot of influence and have a lot riding on the company, because they oftentimes will make sure that the problem is corrected. But still, if nothing has happened, you go outside your company. You talk to external auditors, you can seek outside legal counsel, but you can talk to somebody that's removed and outside of the company. And the 7th step is to leave the company. Sometimes that happens because the company no longer exists. The information that you have presented has become public and business activity ceases, or nothing continues to be done and you choose to leave the company to remove yourself from the situation. So Ms. Cooper and her team of auditors followed these 7 steps, not necessarily in order, but they all occurred. The first was Ms. Cooper was approached by one of her workers, Gene Morse, about some transactions that he had found that were very substantial. They didn't make a lot of accounting sense and there was no documentation. She told him to keep digging, and he found very similar transactions that were very large with no documentation. The first thing she did actually after that was to leave the chain of command. She sought external help, went to the auditors, Arthur Anderson, several times, and she was told that the auditors don't report to her, they don't have to explain anything, and told her that all measures were approved by the audit team and to not worry about it. She left the chain of command after that and went to the head of the audit committee, and talked the matter over with him. He got a very similar response from the external auditors and was told that she shouldn't worry about it. Same thing happened. She went to the executives. She got the runaround. They told her not to worry about it, but she kept persisting that something be done. When she got no attention from her managers and executives, she organized a meeting with the audit committee for WorldCom, where all this information was brought to light. And after this meeting, she knew that things were not going to be good. She and her internal auditors went home and they discussed the matters with their family, saying that things were going to happen. It may not be pretty. They might lose their jobs, and it could be potentially very hard on them. And after less than a week after that meeting with the audit committee, a civil fraud suit was filed against WorldCom. So in the end, you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? If we look from a moral and ethical standpoint, it was worth it. There were things going on that should not have been, that were illegal, that were fraudulent, and there were no steps taken to correct that. The executives had no incentive to change, and they had no desire to, and the executives were working in line with the external auditors, and there was nothing that was going to be done except through a fraud suit that was filed by the SEC. So I commend Ms. Cooper and her team for doing what was right and for blowing the whistle, and for taking the necessary steps to making sure that they were correct before they pursued matters further. Thank you.